Hi everybody, here's some instructions or a do-it-yourself video that shows how to make a log. I had some poplar from a barn and we laminated it together. So I wanted a laminate log, not one turned out of a trunk, so that maybe it wouldn't crack so much. But this just got a walnut strip down the middle, and it was a lot of gluing, a lot of clamping to try to get it all together. It took a little bit to try to figure out how to put the pieces together. You can see I had plenty of clamps. Then I used a hand planer to kind of get it into shape. So it's not done there, it's just down to the right shape. Those are the handles that I'll show later how I made those. But a lot of help. My son came to help, my grandson came to help. We had to true up the ends, that was a trick. So we made these pieces, and then I used a sled on a router to square up the ends. There's my little buddy, Dean. And then getting them perfectly flat and perpendicular so that when you hook these end pieces on, it would be square. Once I had that, then I made a jig, and this is what I'm doing here so that I could spin it. So I basically cut two 6x6s, see the wedge there? Then I made the sled, and we went back and forth a million times. That's a 1/2 inch cut and a little bitty turn every single time. I was wore out just cutting that back and forth, but it worked. My little jig, it turned in place. Then there was sanding. Belt sanding was too hard, so I had my little rotating sander to get all the little cut marks out of it, and it looked really nice. But it was a lot of sandpaper. There it is, all ready, all finished. Now the trick was to make the place to put your hands. So I made this little jig with the right angle. So you can see I cut it. That was nerve-wracking. Did I stop at the right spot? Then I had to dig all that wood out of the middle. So I finally got all that out, but the trick was, how do you make the recess for your hands? So I tried a couple different things. I tried a Forstner bit. That didn't work. I mean, there it is, but it was horribly difficult. And then I had this mortise and tenon square hole maker right there, and talk about a workout. But this was perfect. It was a 1/2 inch hole, square hole, and then I would move it over just a little bit, pull it down again, made a bunch of holes, and there you can see, there you see one row at a time. Then I had to figure out how to sand the middle. That was tricky, so I came up with a little jig and a sander, and there it is. That worked actually very well. Now we're all done. Now the next thing is I wanted to start putting the end pieces on so that it would be a little more secure. And then we wanted to figure out how to put the holes in to put the handles. I wanted to make some wood handles. So figuring out how to cut a hole so it goes through and is perfect on each side, this was very nerve-wracking. But we got it. And then I put some, I think, broom handles or something. I had to give it a try. There's no rope, no stain, and it's so fun. So then I made those handles. I wanted the handles to have that walnut strip in it to match the log. So I used my lathe, got it all turned down, and boom, look at that. It looks great. Then we polyed it, and the wormholes, it was worm-eaten poly, really made a nice texture. Painted the ends, got all that together. There it is, end view, looking at it. Then it was time to, let's see here, where we at? I'm just showing the end. Now it's time to put the rope on. So here I had the rope with the big hooks. That looks nice. And then I just got it all cleaned up and had to take some pictures of it just to kind of look at it. You can see for size, it's as tall as me. I'm 5'10". There's the ends. There it is. I have it set so it'll fit on my Rogue rack. Thanks, Steve Slater, for all the help. Great and fun units.